Okay, welcome everybody to today's class. Today we're looking at phrases and clauses, and we're going to be finding the phrases and clauses in Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. So this is the very first page of that novel, and we're just going to look at the grammar. And so I've written at the top of this document, you can see main clause, which is at the top of the hierarchy. This is what I drew on my board yesterday when I was just giving you an overview of phrases and clauses. Today you're going to see how these phrases and clauses, how they are arranged on the very first page of Fahrenheit 451. And I hope you will learn how to identify different phrases and clauses and how to identify the function of different phrases and clauses, because this is often the important thing to do. I won't go through these different types of subordinate clause because I did that yesterday. We've got noun clause, adjective clause and adverbial clause. And you've got 4 different types of phrase. You've got verb phrase, noun phrase, adverbial phrase and adjectival phrase. However, unfortunately, things don't always fit so nicely into those 4 categories. So participle phrases are usually adjectival, but they do have an adverbial component, and that's why I've put participle in between adverbial and adjectival. It has usually it's very much adjectival, but it does have an adverbial component. Now, prepositional phrases are sometimes adjectival, sometimes adverbial. Absolute phrases are noun phrases functioning adverbially, so I've put them between the two. And we've also got appositives, which are really noun phrases that refer to the same object. Now, if anyone would like more information on all of these topics, I would like you to buy my book, because this is where we go for more information. There's plenty of exercises and examples in this book. And as you can see in the contents, we do go through all the parts of speech, and there is a chapter on page 86 called Phrases and Clauses. So we do go through all of this stuff. Okay, so the verb phrase is perhaps the most difficult part, because verb phrases can be ordinary verbs if they've got a doer, if they've got a subject, okay? But they might not have a doer, in which case they might be a gerund. If they're functioning as a noun, we call them gerunds, okay? And we'll see a few gerunds in the text below. If the verb phrase is functioning as an adjective, we call it a participle. We just mentioned those over here. And if the verb phrase is 2 plus infinitive, it might be functioning as a noun, it might be functioning as an adverb, it might be functioning as an adjective. So the 2 plus infinitive verb phrase is very tricky. But notice that I'm trying to make a distinction here between a verb which has a doer, which is a 100% verb, and usually they're called finite verbs. And I want you to separate those from verbs that don't have doers, which are gerunds, participles, and 2 plus infinitives. And these are sometimes called the non-finite verb forms. Okay, so let's get stuck in. It was a pleasure to burn. Now, I've colour-coded "it was a pleasure" as a main clause, but I want to make it clear that the whole main clause is the whole lot. It was a pleasure to burn, yeah? But within that main clause, we have this 2 plus infinitive at the end. It was a pleasure. What was a pleasure? To burn. And I want you to notice that this "to burn" is really referring to the it. It's renaming the it. So really we're saying to burn was a pleasure. Yeah? And now there's a very subtle point that I could make here. If we say something like, "I have got wood to burn," yeah? If we say that, "I have got wood to burn," then the 2 plus infinitive verb phrase is describing the type of wood. What kind of wood? Wood to burn. And for that reason, it's functioning as an adjective. However, that's not what we've got here. We're not saying that the pleasure was a pleasure to burn. It was a to burn pleasure. It's not describing the pleasure. It's really extraposition, this is called. And again, this is in the grammar book, which I'm telling you about each class. Here, we really do mean to burn was a pleasure.